After a divisive yet experimental Phase 4, Marvel is back to kick off their 5th installment into the MCU with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Oh boy. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is the 3rd installment into the Ant-Man series. The movie is directed by Peyton Reed and it stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and with newcomers such as Catherine Newton and Jonathan Majors, and returning characters such as Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer. After the events of Avengers Endgame, Scott Lang is thriving off his Avengers fame, and now at this point all he really wants to do is spend time with his daughter after being gone for so long. Fast forward, Cassie Lang creates a device that sends signals to the quantum realm, but after the experiment goes terribly wrong, the entire family gets sucked down into the quantum realm, and that pretty much is where the movie starts. This film has left me feeling conflicted in a way, because there were things that I liked, and then there were things I really didn't like. Now, let's talk about the pros, and I think the first thing that I really want to get out the way, Jonathan Majors as King the Conqueror. I thought he was hands down the best part of the entire film. Matter of fact, you could say he really was the saving grace of this film. Whenever he is on screen, he is menacing, he is intimidating, he is just a force to be reckoned with, and you feel his presence every time he walks in a room. Another thing that I do want to compliment are the visuals. I thought for the most part, the visuals were pretty good. There were times where it looked pretty crappy, like it looked like something straight out of a CW show, but for the most part, the visuals were actually pretty eye-opening. I guess one more thing that I really did like in this movie was Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. Now, Paul Rudd has always been great as Scott Lang throughout his entire presence in the MCU. You know, he's enjoyable in the first movie, he was enjoyable in the second, he was enjoyable in Civil War and Endgame, and he's still just as enjoyable in this movie as in any other MCU appearance. So I do appreciate his consistency with the character of Ant-Man. Now, the cons. There were a lot. I suppose I'll start with my biggest problem, which is the story. This movie felt like I was watching 2 different stories in one big project. Now, without going into spoilers, a part of me felt like I was watching a film about a father who was trying to regain lost time with his daughter, and the other part of me felt like I was watching the final chapter of an intergalactic space war. Like 2 completely different stories. And I get they tried to merge those 2 stories together. Some aspects worked, some aspects it just didn't work. At least not for me. Another problem. Hank literally did nothing in this movie. Like he's just there. He's just there for the ride. In the very end of the movie, he becomes a MacGuffin, but that's about it. That's literally all he does. And while you could say the same thing for Hope, at least Hope kind of escalated the story more. Now, Cassie Lang. Listen, I like Catherine Newton as an actress, I really do, but something about her performance just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, it felt like she kind of phoned it in. There were times where her performance as Cassie just didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel shock and awe. Like, it didn't really give me the expectation I would have expected from a young teenage girl who just entered the quantum realm for the first time. In fact, she created the device that literally sent her to the quantum realm in the first place. You would think she would be more shocked and more in awe of what she's witnessing, but you don't really see that. I don't know, is it the actress, the writing of the character? I don't know, but that was something that really stood out like a sore thumb. Also, yes, there were some times where the visuals just looked absolutely atrocious. Like, you could literally tell when the actor is standing in front of a green screen, and it just looked ugly. It just looked really ugly. But again, like I said in my pros, there were other times where it looked really good, but it's just those small moments where it just looked bad. And speaking of bad, the humor is absolutely abysmal. Now look, humor is something you kind of expect to see in a Marvel film, but here, it's bad. Like, not Love and Thunder bad, but it's bad. Like, I am tired of Marvel trying to sneak in a joke in every scenario possible. I understand Ant-Man is a more comedic character, and that's fine, but he should be the only one cracking jokes. It shouldn't be the entire lineup of characters within this film. It just comes across as just rubbish. And one last thing, MODOK. MODOK is absolutely terrible. This guy is a sick joke. This has to be one of the worst MCU adaptations I've seen of a comic book character. Now listen, I do not read the comic books. However, if I remember correctly, I believe MODOK is supposed to be one of the smartest characters in the MCU, or I'm sorry, in the Marvel Comics. I didn't get that. I did not see that at all. This guy is a literal goofball. He is the laughingstock of the multiverse. Now, for all my comment readers, please let me know, how is MODOK in the comics? Because he is supposed to be a more serious and intellectual character, I believe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But in this movie, none of that is there. Guys, in the end, Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumania, it's okay. Like, I don't think it's the worst film in the MCU, but it is definitely a film I do not see myself revisiting anytime soon. So plugging this bad boy into the rank system, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the pass zone. I don't think the movie is completely terrible. I think the movie has a lot of moments to appreciate, but it also has a lot of moments that I just absolutely hate. And while some may feel the same about the things that I hated, some may feel indifferent about the things that, well, I liked. And that's fine. But I think the movie is passable, even though it is kind of below average. I do think people should at least go check it out as just a Phase 5 film, or at least an introduction into Phase 5. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on the film. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it sucked? Or are you just tired of superhero films in general? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I will see you all in the next one.
After working up the nerve, almost equal in size, I walked around with the iron for any wrinkle in time. I paid a piece of my mind for every nickel and dime, but never less than a 5, and never slept on a job. A killer crept on your squad, yet never left.